Hi everyone, my name is Chloe Smith, and I'm here today to talk about my media company report over HBO. So, I chose HBO because it's one of the channels that I'm actually not super educated on, but the company has created a lot of shows that I've been wanting to see, like Big Little Lies and True Detective. I actually just jumped on the Game of Thrones bandwagon. Please don't hate me for being late. I got through the first season and now I'm really obsessed with it. But sadly, there's not much else to my choice. I think I was just really excited to learn more about HBO as a company. So, jumping into it, HBO, also known as Home Box Office, was launched by Time Inc. in 1972. The network pretty much kickstarted the idea behind experiencing commercial free television in the comfort of your own home. It is owned by Warner Bros. Discovery and is famously known for its video on demand streaming services. HBO has a mixed business model that is subscription and ad based. I've included a photo of the business layout on the left, and it's pretty much just a rundown of HBO's plan to bring in revenue. A business model includes information on products and services, licensing agreements, subscription plans, the target audience, technology development like AI, and potential expenses. Simply put, a subscription model is a recurring monthly or annual fee that users pay in order to watch HBO channels and streaming services. HBO brings in revenue from three providers through this model, including their cable channel, their app, and Max. An advertising model is where a company makes a profit from selling space for advertisements on their platforms. An example is when users subscribe to the without ads option for a cheaper price. But regardless, HBO is still generating revenue through those ads. HBO's target audience consists of millennials and older Generation X. This was kind of a shock, especially after learning only 22% of Gen Z expresses a likelihood of subscribing to HBO. But when it comes to streaming services and the type of content HBO supplies, Gen Z would just kind of seem like the easier audience to cater to. Given that millennials and Generation Z grew up with technology, it is surprising to know that about 78% of Generation Z is less likely to start a subscription with HBO. Max as a streaming service offers a lot of original and creative films and TV shows. An HBO subscription ranges from $10 to $20 a month. But when compared to its competitors, HBO actually has a significant price disadvantage. The cost of the monthly subscription is $4.99 for Apple, $6.99 for Disney Plus, and $12.99 for Netflix. But the average HBO user pays $14.99 a month without ads. HBO is also one of the more difficult services to navigate. Actually, a study in 2021 showed that users of Max had trouble going back an episode, going forward an episode, searching by genre, and even turning subtitles on. But despite that, Max actually still brings in the most revenue for the company with almost 100 million subscribers. These shows right here are just some examples of what is most popular on HBO. Sex and the City, Euphoria, and Game of Thrones are all HBO originals, and White Lotus and The Sex Life of College Girls are Max originals. HBO is really popular for its censorless content, but there are a few family-friendly shows and movies. But like the shows previously mentioned, which require a specific kind of taste, HBO depicts a lot of sex, violence, and explicit language. Pushing boundaries and dismissing traditional values through original content has really become kind of like a brand identity for HBO. Actually, Colin Tate, a researcher, studied violence as a genre in HBO. He gives examples of the content and says this can be a corporate strategy that is equivalent to brand equity. Creating shows and movies that viewers are eager to consume is a strategy that has kept channels and networks desirable. Despite how explicit and controversial they can be, it's the most effective way to reach audiences and pique their curiosity. HBO faces a few challenges like consumer pressures and competition. Growing demand puts a lot of stress on the production and release of shows and movies, let alone the need for fresh and original ideas. Economic changes and the rise of subscription prices have also made audiences more aware of spending habits and the importance of saving. Originality and affordability are becoming a lot harder to provide because of how fast customer expectations are growing. But I think I would say that these problems are actually what is driving companies to not only react quicker but also produce faster. But that can actually be a problem within itself because the quality would be at risk if entertainment is produced quicker. A problem they're facing that is a little more recent is both the Writers Guild of America and the Screen Actors Guild going on strike. This has brought pretty much all current productions to a complete stop. People are now being encouraged to cancel streaming services to show solidarity and hopefully push studios to start negotiating wages and limit the use of AI technology. I definitely think this is a good idea. It will do exactly what people want, and if enough people cancel their subscription, it will put streaming services in a serious drought. Speaking of AI technology, um, the ChatGPT comparison had a few weaknesses. The essay gave no specific history or statistics to support any claims that it made in favor of HBO. It also did not discuss examples or recognize company challenges, but I guess expecting an AI source to be thorough is not really smart because AI can't really replace human researchers. On the other hand, I did see quite a few similarities in our papers. Both papers covered brand identity and loyalty, the importance of catering to an audience, and HBO's ability to push boundaries in a distinctive way. ChatGPT can be helpful and provide quick, brief, and simple overviews of a topic, but I think it's definitely more safe for casual use. Its essay answered my question pretty well, but a few quick tests can prove that the information it gives you is not always accurate. After asking the question about HBO, I wanted to play around with ChatGPT a little more because it was kind of my first time using it. I basically asked it to explain the plot of my favorite Adventure Time episode, and the answer was completely wrong and unrelated, so it as a source is not really reliable. Overall, the home box office pioneered the at home movie experience. Despite problems with audiences, the business is still quite successful, and each user of HBO is exposed to original content that is tailored to their particular taste. HBO's success is largely due to its carefully considered business strategy, which places a really strong emphasis on the company's target market. Fulfilling consumer expectations is a media company's top priority, and I think HBO's content goes above and beyond.